So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
You can wear your dresses. Nobody has sat here and said, if you're a man in a dress, something bad should happen to you. But I think it is wrong for our society to keep perverting things.
In a world where woke culture pushes for everyone to conform and stay quiet, some stars have stood their ground. Today, we're diving into 6 powerful voices who have taken on the woke tide and, against all odds, are winning.
Do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No, because I think that women are capable, generally speaking, of having babies, and they have female genitalia, and they have an XX chromosome, and I think the biological markers are relevant.
1. Elon Musk. Musk has always spoken out against woke culture, but things escalated after he bought X, formerly known as Twitter. After taking over, he was shocked to find that many employees were focused on controlling free speech and pushing certain agendas on behalf of the government. In response, he fired 6,000 employees, about 80% of the workforce, and even released private chats showing Twitter staff discussing how to limit free speech. Musk quickly rolled back the platform's moderation policies, saying woke censorship was shutting down important conversations and hurting society. His goal? To make Twitter a true public square again, but it doesn't stop there. Musk's personal life has also been tangled in the woke web. His very public rift with his transgender daughter, who disowned him after embracing woke ideology, added fuel to the fire.
I lost my son, essentially. So, you know, they call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
Musk has called gender-affirming care for minors child mutilation, and despite the backlash, he stood his ground, remaining a vocal critic of what he calls the woke mind virus.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
And while critics come for him, Musk keeps winning, proving that free thinkers can still thrive in a woke world. 2. Jordan Peterson, the Canadian professor who rose to fame by challenging the woke establishment from within academia. Peterson's battle began when he refused to comply with Canada's Bill C-16, which he argued would force people to use gender-neutral pronouns. For Peterson, this wasn't just about speech. It was about authoritarianism disguised as social justice.
Discrimination against gender identity and gender expression. That's not the point. The point is the specifics of the legislation that surrounds it and the insistence that people will have to use compelled speech. That's what I'm objecting to.
His refusal to be told what he must say sparked a media firestorm, but Peterson didn't flinch. His opposition to identity politics and victimhood culture didn't just make him a viral sensation, it made him a hero for those who feel that woke culture is eroding individual rights and intellectual freedom. He's a living example that standing firm against the tide of woke culture can elevate your voice, not silence it. 3. J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, the author behind the beloved Harry Potter series, has faced an onslaught of attacks for her views on gender identity, but she remains unshaken. It all started when Rowling questioned the idea that biological sex could be ignored in favor of gender identity, especially when it comes to women's rights. Her stance ignited a firestorm, with social media users labeling her transphobic and fans of her books trying to cancel her. But here's the thing, Rowling won't apologize. In fact, she's doubled down, writing essays explaining her concerns about how gender identity theory affects women's safety and legal rights. Despite calls to remove her influence from the Harry Potter universe, Rowling's books continue to sell. Her fortune continues to grow, and she's become an even more powerful voice in the global conversation about free speech and women's rights. Try as they might, woke culture has not been able to cancel her, and she's proof that standing your ground can pay off. 4. Dave Chappelle. You can't talk about standing up to woke culture without mentioning Dave Chappelle.
I just know whatever happens in the beginning of the joke, at the end of the joke, for some reason, I'm gonna kick somebody in the pussy.
In a world where comedians are constantly walking on eggshells, Chappelle has become the boldest voice in comedy, unafraid to joke about the most sensitive issues of our time. His 2021 Netflix special, The Closer, sparked outrage for its jokes about the transgender community.
I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got, you know what I mean? beyond pussy or impossible pussy.
But rather than apologize, Chappelle leaned into the controversy. He defended his right to make jokes about anything and called out cancel culture for stifling free speech in comedy.
I personally am not afraid of other people's freedom of expression. I don't use it as a weapon. It just makes me feel better, and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Everything I'm supposed to say.
When some Netflix employees even staged a walkout in protest,
this hate conversation was not their intention. We understand that jokes are jokes, things are things, but at the end of the day, if it's promoting hate and it's promoting discrimination, you are directly a cause of it if you're allowing it to happen and you're not doing anything about it, and that goes for anyone in this country.
Netflix stood by Chappelle, refusing to pull his special from the platform. Chappelle's comedy continues to sell out arenas, and despite the calls to cancel him, he remains one of the most respected voices in entertainment today. 5. Chris Pratt, Hollywood's quiet rebel. Unlike the others on this list, Chris Pratt isn't loud about his resistance to woke culture, but that doesn't mean he isn't fighting back. Pratt, known for his roles in Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World, has faced scrutiny not for what he says, but for what he doesn't say. He doesn't broadcast his political views or align himself with Hollywood's liberal majority, and that silence has made him a target. In 2020, Pratt was accused of being conservative after he skipped a political fundraiser for Joe Biden, and the internet dubbed him the worst Chris in Hollywood. But despite the backlash, Pratt stayed silent, letting his work speak for itself. His fellow Marvel stars, including Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, rallied to his defense, praising his character and principles. Pratt's career hasn't taken a hit. In fact, he continues to star in blockbuster films and remains beloved by fans, proving that staying true to yourself, even quietly, is its own form of rebellion. 6. Candace Owens, the voice of the anti-woke movement.
I'm a male. Okay?
Okay.
So, what are you? So I can call you sir or ma'am. What are you?
What would you assume looking at me?
I assume that you're a man. Okay?
Finally, we have Candace Owens, one of the most unapologetically anti-woke voices in modern culture.
You can wear your dresses. Nobody has sat here and said, if you're a man in a dress, something bad should happen to you. But I think it is wrong for our society to keep perverting things.
Owens rose to prominence by challenging the narratives surrounding race in America, particularly taking aim at the Black Lives Matter movement. She calls out what she sees as victimhood culture, urging African Americans and other minority groups to reject the politics of grievance and embrace self-reliance, family values, and personal accountability. Her criticisms of BLM, identity politics, and the Democratic Party have made her one of the most controversial political commentators today. But Owens is unbothered. She's founded the BLEXIT movement, encouraging Black Americans to exit the Democratic Party and think independently.
Yes, the Black exit from the Democrat Party because it's time that we stop allowing them to use us for votes and deliver none of the promises.
Her message resonates with those who feel left behind by the woke agenda. And while she's frequently targeted by the left, Owens continues to thrive. She refuses to be canceled, and her influence continues to grow within conservative circles and beyond. In an era where woke culture demands total compliance, these 6 stars have proven that standing up for what you believe in is not just possible, but powerful. They've faced backlash, boycotts, and cancellation attempts, but they've come out on top stronger than ever. Their stories are proof that free speech, personal responsibility, and resilience still have a place in today's world.